In a digital realm flooded with cliched habit building videos and recycled articles promising the coveted transformation from A to Z, one truth remains evident: the chorus of regurgitating the same unoriginal message. So after diving into what seemed like an absolute endless pit of time management videos over the past 10 years, I found a few things that actually work. But these habits not only allow me to stay on track, but they also find time for me to unwind, get 8+ hours of sleep every night, and even keep up with the Kardashians. So let's go through each one. Habit number 1, 3T planning every night before bed. Every night, when your brain's doing that winding down dance, you pick 3 tasks for the next day that you're gonna conquer. No excuses. Now don't get all eager and scribble down an entire laundry list. 3 is the magic number, okay? Let me break it down. I've learned the hard way that overcommitting is a one-way ticket to not getting anything done. Comment Gilly if you've ever aimed for 5 or 7 or 10 tasks and you end up only getting maybe 1 or 2 done. I don't know, I just like the name Gilly, I guess. It's like trying to juggle flaming torches while riding a unicycle. Now don't flip the script and go all minimalist with just one task. This isn't one of those videos. That'd be like bringing a toothpick to a sword fight. You're gonna lose. With only 3 tasks on my plate, I could allocate my time and energy more efficiently. So I start planning these tasks the night before, allowing my subconscious mind to mull over them while I sleep. And this subtle process of mental preparation has made all the difference. When I wake up, I have a clear roadmap for my day. I'm not burdened by an overwhelming list of tasks. I have a constant set of objectives that I'm genuinely excited to tackle. This gives me a surge of motivation and a sharp increase in my ability to focus. And since there's only 3 tasks, there's no excuses. I can't procrastinate because there's a giant list of things, and I think as long as I get a couple of them, I'm good. Nah, you got 3. And as a result, I find myself reclaiming hours every day that used to be lost in the abyss of just trying to prioritize and figure out what I needed to do and yada yada yada, and sit around and end up getting none of that done. The next thing is just getting sunlight right when you wake up. Chances are you don't run outside half naked as soon as you wake up, but maybe you should. After watching other videos, you're probably thinking, yeah, it's probably because of the vitamin D and blah, blah, blah. But it's actually more than the vitamin D. What we're talking about here is the recalibrating of the circadian rhythm. Our internal body clock is influenced by 2 key hormones: melatonin and cortisol. Melatonin's the sleep hormone. You've probably tried it, or you've at least heard of it. You take it before bed, it helps you fall asleep, right? And then there's cortisol, the stress hormone, which helps you wake up and stay alert throughout the day. And the trick to a smooth sailing sleep cycle is to have low cortisol and high melatonin levels when it's time to go to bed. Now here's when the morning sunlight magic comes into play. By exposing yourself to natural sunlight as soon as you wake up, you give your body an important signal. It's time to ramp up the cortisol production. When your cortisol levels peak early in the day, they naturally start to degress as the day goes on. And by the time the sun sets, your cortisol levels will be decreased significantly, and then melatonin can step in and help you fall asleep more easily. So on average, I would normally wake up 1 to 2 hours throughout the night, tossing and turning, and my sleep would just be crap. I'd wake up feeling like my body was in limbo, like half asleep, half awake, and it's hard to get your day started on a good note when you feel this way. And so what I found was the sweet spot was just stepping outside, getting sun for about 15 minutes, walking, drinking my coffee, whatever the case, and that just helps me get my cortisol levels up and begin the day on a good note. By doing this, I am getting that full 8 hours of sleep, and then I'm hyper productive throughout the day. So I'm saving those hours throughout the day that I would otherwise just be really groggy and unmotivated and I wouldn't get anything done. The next one is time blocking. Now hold on, before you dismiss me, you've heard this one before, I get it. Let's go to the next video. Hold on. There's a reason why everyone talks about it, because this is like one of the few that it's actually legitimate. There's merit to it. I know it's not exciting or sexy, but it really is a hidden gem. And at its core, it's about structuring your day into different chunks that are dedicated to different activities or priorities. It's like crafting a well-organized itinerary for your day, except you are in control of it. And as someone who naturally just tended to just go with the flow most of his life, not keep a calendar, just kind of just wing it, like I could see why people continuously tell you to start doing this. This really does create a powerful shield against procrastination, distraction, and just that overall feeling of being overwhelmed all the time. Not too long ago, my days were a chaotic whirlwind. I jumped from one task to another, constantly switching gears and struggling to stay focused. I'd lose precious minutes just deciding what to work on next or getting sidetracked by notifications. I really did feel like I was working tirelessly, but I was accomplishing very little. So I decided to invest a little bit of time up front to schedule my day out properly, allocating different time slots in the day for emails, for brainstorms, for meetings, and everything else in between. And at first, it felt really rigid. I was like, I am uptight. I always have a very strict calendar. It was everything I normally would just go against. But when I have that clear roadmap, it's almost like that syllabus again, where I actually have what I need to do right in front of me, and it's easier to be in control. It's easier to say no when distractions come up because you know that you have a dedicated time slot for this exact thing. And as I get a lot more done in a lot less time, I'm saving hours every single day doing this. Next is practicing Hari Hachibu. I previously did a dedicated video on this exact practice, but in a nutshell, Hari Hachibu is an ancient practice that the Japanese use where they eat until they are 80% full. And this isn't about deprivation or strict diets. It's about tuning in your body's natural signals and then honoring them. Before doing this, I would just devour my meals as quickly as possible and then just move on because I didn't think I had enough time in the day to relax and eat and still get everything else done. But doing this has allowed me to foster a deeper connection between my mind and my body. When you eat mindfully, you give your brain a chance to catch up to your stomach, and therefore you're less likely to overeat. And it's when you overeat is when you feel really lethargic in the afternoon and you're less productive. And after doing this for some time, I feel lighter after meals, I feel a lot more energetic, and I feel a lot more productive throughout the day. I don't get that afternoon crash. And all that time previously that was feeling sluggish is now allocated into a more productive version of myself. The next one is multitasking, but specifically podcast multitasking. And I've heard all the debates about multitasking, about some say it's a production killer to it's the greatest thing on earth. And I tend to fall somewhere in the middle, but when it comes to podcast multitasking in particular, I feel like it's more on the latter side. I definitely am someone that listens to podcasts more than I actively read a book. And podcasts are usually hours at a time. If you're listening to like a Joe Rogan or any of that case, it takes a lot of time to get through even just one episode. And a big funnel of my learning is through those very podcasts. And what happens is when you dedicate time just to listen to those podcasts, that's hours out of your day taken out just for that one thing where you're just sitting down and listening. But when I'm driving to work 20 minutes at a time, or I'm at the gym for an hour, I listen to podcasts simultaneously. Instead of just letting those moments go to listening to music, which there's a time and place for that too, and I don't just solely listen to podcasts, I dedicate a lot of that time to listening to those episodes that I want to get in while I'm working out and while I'm driving. And it allows me to get that same information while I'm doing something else crucial. And so now when I'm driving to work or I'm putting in reps, I'm not just stuck in traffic or listening to Morgan Wallen on repeat. I'm diving into thought-provoking discussion and expanding my horizons and learning a lot while I'm doing these other things. The gym is no longer just about breaking a sweat, but it's also about nourishing my mind. And those monotonous chores that I have to do throughout the week, I can do them while also educating myself. And you can see if I'm listening to 2 or 3 podcasts a week at 3 hours a piece, how that time could add up very quickly. Remember, with time management habits, it's not just about flashy shortcuts or quick fixes. It's about making intentional choices that align with your goals and your values, and then leveraging them. And these hours you save by adopting these habits aren't just hours on the clock. They're more opportunity to do what truly matters to you. Hope you guys liked this video. If you did, it would mean a lot if you liked it. You could share it with someone you think might like it, comment what you liked about it, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Thank you again, and I will see you in the next video. Later! I don't know, I just like the name Gilly, I guess.